saw that Dickbag was being threatened with a lawsuit from Chille. So since I handle defamation cases, and I'm very, very well versed in it, I mean, I'm 10-0 in anti-SLAPP motions. Those are First Amendment motions. I've defeated every single one, and I've defeated them all on appeal as well. I have one case in front of the California Supreme Court right now. I know this stuff really, really well. And Dickbag, is doing satire. He's doing comedy. He's doing issues of public interest, for example, driving while live streaming. All of that stuff gets right into the First Amendment, gets right into Geyser, gets right into Film On. And I don't see how Chille can get past the anti-SLAPP statute. And before he can even bring it, his company that he's suing under, claiming they're the ones that have been damaged, according to the Secretary of State, and I'll show this to you, they're a suspended company. And if they're suspended, they can't even bring a lawsuit in California. They need a lawyer, and a lawyer can't represent them until that is cleared up as well. He is saying he's got 300,000 subscribers. He said he ran for governor. That would make him a public figure, at the very least, a limited purpose public figure. That would raise his standard of proof on the anti-SLAPP motion to clear and convincing evidence under the Reader's Digest decision, about 75 to 80% level of proof, almost like a videotape. And if he can even establish that, he has to first prove that Dickbag had lied or was reckless with the truth. And since the demand letter is putting Chille in the capacity of his news organization delivering news, well, then Dickbag can similarly say that he's reporting the news of somebody else, and that opens up all kinds of other defenses under the anti-SLAPP statute, the fair report privilege, the breathing space exception, to say nothing about commenting on a public issue. I see Dickbag Patrol winning if this lawsuit were brought.
Dickbag Patrol. I am writing to you on behalf of Ethics, SCS Inc., parentheses, quote, ethics, end quote, close parentheses. A company that possesses the exclusive rights to the image and voice of Mr. Jose DeCastro, a prominent on-camera personality, for our subsidiary, quote, delete laws, end quote, parentheses, DLZ, close parentheses. Ethics maintains its headquarters at 1258 Franklin Avenue, Santa Monica, California, 90404. 58 Franklin Avenue, Santa Monica, California, 90404.
I ran the business enterprise Ethics SCS Inc., and it was suspended by the Franchise Tax Board and the Secretary of State. It was formed on May 15, 2015. This is where its principal address is, which is now wrong because the current address is a different one listed in the letter to Dickbag Patrol. It says that a statement of information was due in 2018. This is a suspended company. And as a suspended company, it's subject to penalties until those things are resolved. California, a corporation cannot appear in court by an officer who is not an attorney, and it cannot appear in propria persona, and this is the Gutierrez decision, 2010. So before Chille can bring his lawsuit, he has to make sure that the company is not suspended. And then it gets worse. A suspended corporation is unable to initiate lawsuits, so can't bring one, and it cannot defend itself. And an attorney is charged with sanctionable conduct, including disciplinary conduct, if it knowingly represents a suspended corporation or one with its charter has been forfeited. This is the Palm Valley case. All the lawyers know this that do trial work. What would have to happen first is they would have to pay all back taxes, pay all fines and interest, file all the current documents, and then try to restore the charter. But until they do that, there is no ability to bring the lawsuit.
Then an entity by the name of Dickbag Patrol, parentheses, DP, and unabashedly encroach upon Mr. Jose DeCastro's exclusive ownership of his voice through the audacious use of unauthorized artificial intelligence trickery. DP, in a reckless display of arrogance, has manufactured an exact replica of Mr. DeCastro's voice without seeking a modicum of consent from him or the essential authorization from our esteemed organization. Over 300,000 YouTube subscribers firmly secures its position among the top 2,000 channels in these here United States. Mr. DeCastro, our distinguished on-air personality, has ascended with meteoric brilliance and safeguards his voice and image under the vigilant guard of an exclusive contract with Ethics. DP's audacious actions amount to a flagrant and injurious breach of this contract.
This is another big hurdle for him to overcome, DeCastro, because with parody and satire, the whole point of parody and satire is to imitate as much as possible the person you're trying to imitate. I mean, we've had years and years and years of case law on this. Anyone looking at the video would see that it's a voice generated through a fictitious character, AI Chille, would all see that this is nothing but comedy and satire, clearly under the First Amendment, and it gets worse for him, which we'll talk about in a second.
Of established legal precedent, drawing into focus the indomitable spirit of that landmark case, Bette Midler versus Ford Motor Company. In this here iconic legal battle, the court delivered an unequivocal verdict, affirming that the unauthorized imitation of a luminary's voice for crass commercial gain constitutes an egregious infringement upon their sacred rights. DP's unapologetic deployment of Mr. DeCastro's painstakingly replicated voice squarely positions it within the purview of this well-established legal doctrine.
This is a really bad analysis and a bad case for Chille to cite to. First of all, the Bette Midler case couldn't be more different. It was commercial advertising meant to fool the public into thinking Bette Midler endorsed the product and was singing about it. Her voice was so distinctive that the public would know listening to it. But we don't have that with Chille. He's got a vast audience. Give him his credit, 300,000 subscribers. That's a lot of people. But what Dickbag Patrol is doing is not trying to sell a product. He's trying to satire, bring public awareness to, for example, DeCastro's driving while, live streaming, public issue. Gets right into Geyser in the Film On case explicitly. He's not a household name. And that's really what the case was meant to do, was to give celebrities who are household names an ability to protect their identity. And it was called, it's basically a publicity claim. But Chille doesn't have a publicity claim.
Privilege of harnessing his unparalleled vocal prowess and charismatic visage. DP's audacious and covert exploits could trigger a financial cataclysm, wreaking havoc upon both Mr. DeCastro's financial interests and ethics' pristine reputation.
Covert means secretive. Hard to say that when he's posting videos on YouTube. So trigger a financial cataclysm. It's clearly not drafted by a lawyer.
Regrettably, this state of affairs leaves us with no recourse but to issue an unyielding demand that DP promptly desists from the reckless misuse of Mr. DeCastro's voice and likeness in any and all videos and content. We hereby issue a forceful and irrevocable demand that DP obliterate with the alacrity of a savage city dweller all videos and content that dare to exploit Mr. DeCastro's replicated voice from his platform within the span of 7 days from the date of this here letter. To Jose DeCastro will ardently pursue every conceivable avenue of retribution, from securing injunctive relief that will send tremors through DP's foundations to pursuing punitive damages that will drain his financial resources to the point of desolation. We stand prepared to vigorously protect Mr. DeCastro's rights and interests, mirroring the unwavering pace of a bustling metropolis.
Never a good idea to say that you're engaged in every conceivable avenue of retribution. Retribution is not what the justice system is about. And you get right into the First Amendment, and then the anti-SLAPP statute comes in. And my gosh, is it strong here in California?
Defiance. We resolutely reserve all our rights, remedies, claims, and defenses. Address redacted. Any communication with Mr. Jose DeCastro or any other member of Team DLZ will be categorically regarded as unwarranted harassment. We want to underscore the gravity of this matter as it inexorably points towards an imminent and highly likely lawsuit against you.
Gets the law wrong again. It's not unwarranted harassment for parties to speak to each other. In fact, they're allowed to speak to each other. Harassment under Code of Civil Procedure Section 527.6 points to conduct that has no legitimate purpose, has a continuity of purpose, has it's got to be more than one instance, and it's got to seriously alarm, seriously annoy, and basically inflict emotional distress.
Pursue the justice and the inevitable legal recourse. Regards, Ethics SCS Inc. Blind Carbon Copy Team DLZ.